Hello and welcome to Route 664, the Road to Human Kindness. I'm Les Winston. I'm the national spokesperson for socialsecharity.org. Check out that website. Go there and see what we're doing with this program, what we're doing with the work in general of the Endow American Network Foundation. It is a charitable organization that is intent on building endowment in the United States to help solve our problems. And those endowments can be built using the tools of social charity. This program is all about you. It's about how you can benefit yourself, how you can benefit the community, and how you can do more with the assets that you have if you plan them properly. You're not duty bound to pay the most the law extracts, and there are two taxpayers in the country. There are those that are knowing taxpayers, and there are those that are uninformed, and we want to make you a knowing taxpayer. We want to make you a voluntary philanthropist as opposed to an involuntary tax-paying philanthropist. And from time to time, we interview professional philanthropic advisors on the program. We interview folks who have been benefited by the philanthropy. And on occasion, we're very lucky to have folks with us that are very involved in philanthropy because their life has taken them to that point. And my guest this morning is Rennie Gilbert. Rennie is Rennie Gabriel, pardon me. Rennie Gabriel is an author. He has great knowledge in the area of financial planning. He is a former CLU, former CFP, very knowledgeable planner. But at this point in time, he has become a philanthropist. And he works with an organization that he's very close to called the Shelter to Soldier org. It's www.sheltertosoldierorg.org. Tell me a little bit about that, Rennie.
Oh yeah, love to talk about them. It's an organization that rescues dogs from high kill environments, places where they could end up being euthanized. Mm-hmm. And then they're trained over a period of 12 to 18 months with, vet bills and the food and the housing. And then they are trained as service dogs for soldiers who've come back with PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, other issues. And the suicide rate among our veterans is about almost every hour, 22 a day.
Really?
But not one service member who's received his dog has committed suicide. So this program is saving 2 lives at a time for every dollar.
That is a great opportunity for people to support. And how did you arrive at that? How did you begin that?
Yeah, my wife and I have always donated to animal charities. I've donated to veteran charities. I was very fortunate during the Vietnam War. I thought ahead. I joined the Naval Reserve. So while I had friends from high school crawling through rice paddies in Vietnam, I'm sitting on a ship, taking showers, eating meals. Mm-hmm. My experience, was so vastly different.
Yeah.
So, they're putting their lives on the line in various parts of the world and allowing us to do the things that we do here. And the government doesn't do as much as is needed for these returning soldiers.
How bad a problem is? I mean, I know that the suicide rate, as you said, is pretty significant. But does the PTSD, when they have the companionship of the shelter dogs, does that change their ability to function in society, or is it strictly to help them cope?
The helping them cope changes them so that they can begin to contribute to society. One of the first vets who got his dog from Shelter to Soldier, his name is Vic. When he had a traumatic brain injury, he was doing underwater demolition. He came home and stuttered so badly, he could not even communicate with his own family. He couldn't talk to his wife. He couldn't communicate with his children. He had anger issues, obviously, because he couldn't contribute. He was homebound because he wasn't willing to go out. And when he got his service dog, things began to change. If he had night terrors, the dog jumped up on the bed and would awaken him. As things subsided, he was able to go out to grocery shopping with his wife. He was able to go to soccer games and see his children. Ultimately, I heard Vic speak at a realtors meeting, and so eloquently, he brought people to tears. You'd never know he wasn't even able to talk prior to getting his dog.
It's incredible. That's a really great story. So how many dogs are out there? How much of this has been accomplished through your organization?
It's a small organization. They have about 70 dogs in training right now. They're only about 6 to 8 years old, the whole organization. When I found out about it, it was rather new. My wife happened to have been the chairperson for the Los Angeles division of the Berkshire Hathaway Charitable Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And someone brought Shelter to Soldier to her attention. She knew, I was donating to veteran causes and animal causes. And she said, Rennie, I think you'd like this. They're doing two things for the same dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found out about them, I started contributing. And I started small at first,
Mm-hmm.
but then I would donate $15,000 chunks, because that's what it takes to train the dog, to house the soldier while the dog is training with the soldier, because it's not like you've gotten a companion from the shelter. These are trained service animals. You need to know how to work with them. You need to know the commands, and the dog is is who picks the soldier they're going to work with.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
They're soldiers, and they try and match a dog, and that dog says, no, this isn't my person.
Okay.
And another dog will say, this is my person. And I've seen the process. It's just quite amazing.
So when you've seen the process, do you follow the veteran? Do you follow the individual at all? When you're responsible for a dog?
I've met the dogs that we've funded and the soldiers that have received them. I don't actually follow them. I do end up seeing them maybe once a year when they host the donors at events, and the soldiers and their dogs are there. So I end up running into them, and we have conversations on how their lives have changed from being homebound to going back to college, to getting a degree, to taking medical training, all sorts of things.
Well, that's the difference between charity and giving and philanthropy, where philanthropy really involves you in the end result of what you've given. You're I know that you're previously in your former life, you're now retired from the financial planning arena, but you do have a book which is called Wealth on Any Income.
Wealth on Any Income.
Wealth on Any Income. I'm sorry.
It's been translated into 8 languages. I wrote it differently than most people who write a book.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it to put everything I know in there, and for people to leave me alone.
Okay, not to ask you anymore, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I said, this is the stuff people have been asking over the last 10 years from my workshops and my seminars and my speaking. And I'll have everything I know in the book. I'll have everybody's questions answered. They'll leave me alone.
Who should read this book? Who is this book designed for?
It's designed for anybody who is struggling handling money on a day-to-day basis, wants to know the foundations, wants to be able to see that where they're spending their money is giving them the level of pleasure that they've, for the amount of money they've spent.
Mm-hmm.
It's to set up the financial goals. It's to get the kind of baggage from our parents out of the way. Unfortunately, in the society, people have been indoctrinated to believe it's better to be poor than to create wealth. I mean, if you look at
they get paid sometimes to be poor. So that's a problem.
Yes, yeah. But the society has conditioned them from books and movies and fairy tales. I mean, if you look at Jack and the Beanstalk, you've got a little boy who climbs up and steals the giant's eggs, takes the goose that lays the eggs, steals the singing harp, and when the giant chases him down the beanstalk, he cuts it down and kills the giant. And people say, well, the moral of the story is Jack took advantage of his situation. No, the moral of the story is it's okay to kill the wealthy if you're poor.
Oh, God. You're right. I never thought of it that way.
Exactly.
Jack and the Beanstalk will never be the same to me.
Yes. And that's what I'm getting at. The messages are subtle. You don't recognize it. So, you've heard expressions like it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to get into heaven. I mean, you've got it from the scripture. You've got Charles Dickens books. You've got Hollywood movies. You've got TV shows. You've got fairy tales, all showing this kind of situation. And it makes it tough.
It's not fair to the wealthy in the sense that wealthy has a different connotation. I like to call it affluence. I like to say that people are affluent, and people who are affluent are actually people who are spending more, are earning more than they're spending, and they're accumulating something. So do you use any of the social charity devices in your work or did you use them in your work when you were doing planning for people?
I didn't. When the transition happened after I gave up working as a financial planner, I had created a level of income where I no longer had to work. I had, I want to explain something. I think it's really important.
Sure.
I know what it's like to be broke. And I struggled with money all my life because I lacked the foundations, even as a certified financial planner. I didn't learn what it really takes to create affluence, as you say, or wealth until I was 50. There was a point where I was so broke in my 30s, I had to collect soda bottles and cans to get the refund money to buy food for my family.
Wow.
So I know what it's like to have no money. So when I look at my situation today and the level of income taxes that we pay, which is multiple times more money than I ever earned, I recognize we are so blessed that it's appropriate to give it away.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think that message has sunk in with enough people, and that it's really so beneficial to do the planning when you plan to give it away. In a sense, it makes it better for you as well. That was Congress in their infinite wisdom did that in 1969 when they came out with the sections of the tax code, section 664, which is what we named the show after, Route 664. My guest is Rennie Gabriel. Rennie Gabriel. Sorry, Rennie Gabriel. And Rennie is a reformed, retired CLU.
I like that. CFP. I like reformed. That's better.
And and I think I commend you on all the things that you're doing for philanthropy, all of the proceeds from your book and the other work that you're doing, going towards supporting this Shelter for Soldiers organization, which pairs the rescue animals with PTSD soldiers, people who are suffering from PTSD from their stint as a veteran. And I commend you for bringing that to light for us to share here on Route 664. Rennie Gabriel. If you want to get the book, is it on Amazon?
It is on Amazon, but if they buy it there, very little gets to the charity. If they get it from my website, which has the same title, Wealth on Any Income, they can also see my TEDx talk, where I talk more about how we've been indoctrinated to believe it's better to be poor. And I provide a cure, which is a 27-page, 9-step roadmap to complete financial choice and philanthropy.
Okay. So love that. That's great. Yeah. TED Talk. And check out what is the title of the book again? Is Wealth on Any Income. Correct.
And same as the website. Yep. Okay. Same as my
website is
www.wealthonanyincome.
And tell me a little bit more about that step. What are you doing there? You have a step program that people can follow?
Yeah, 9-step roadmap, which talks about where they are now and how to get to a place where they can be philanthropic if they're not even earning enough money now, or if their business revenues aren't supporting what they're doing.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining us today on Route 664, the road to human kindness. The work that you're doing is extremely valuable. And we hope you continue to have great success with it. Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Les.
Thank you, Rennie. Okay, we're going to now go back to an interview that I did a couple of days ago with Amy Malin. Amy is with True Heart, and this is a very interesting segment. I hope you enjoy it. It's quite unique. My True Heart, is it? We are True Heart.
Okay. The True Heart Cause Agency and the True Heart Social Impact Search Engine.
Okay, so tell me how that is related to philanthropy.
Sure. I started our True Heart Cause Agency 24 years ago, and we specialize in connecting celebrities and purpose-driven brands to team up and help raise millions of dollars for deserving charities. And we produce global social impact campaigns that shine a massive spotlight on the mission of the charities while we drive billions of media impressions across traditional media and social media. And then this summer, we launched our True Heart Social Impact Search Engine, which is a free and easy way for people to do something that they're doing every day already, searching the web. But now their searches are actually powering donations to the 6 amazing charities that we support that help people, animals, and the planet. So it was a way for us to use the power of technology for good and help democratize philanthropy because, as you know, Les, there are billions of people in the world with beautiful hearts that want to transform their local communities, but they don't have disposable income to donate to charity.
Right. Right. That's one of the reasons why I thought we have a very symbiotic kind of direction, in a sense. We have very, very closely aligned purposes. Our purpose here with the Endow American Network Foundation is to increase the amount of philanthropy in the world by exposing people to what's available that they may not know about to use, and also that there are professional philanthropic advisors out there. Now, you work with celebrities primarily, so I know listen, you're dealing. When I look at your video, I think you got Sharon Stone in there. You've got you got really big important people, the celebrities of the world out there. I mean, you're in Los Angeles, and I think that's a big advantage. Have you found it difficult to get the celebrities to work with you with regard to these, the commitments to the philanthropies, or is it something that is ingrained with them?
We've been blessed, over the last 2 decades to work with hundreds of stars from music, fashion, television, film, sports, and now kind of this wild, wild west of social media influencers as well. And we found that so many people really understand that having a platform means you have the responsibility to do good with it. So, these are folks that are blessed to make a living by, playing pretend on TV or performing music or playing sports, which is something that only a very lucky few, get to do with their talents. And so being able to use that fan base to shine a spotlight on deserving charities and the unsung heroes in our communities who are really making a difference every day, we found is the ultimate privilege of the talent that we work with. And so when we come to a celebrity or an athlete with something that they have a personal connection to, whether they served in our armed forces and want to support wounded veterans or other active duty men and women, or they lost a loved one to cancer, or they grew up in the foster system. When there's that personal connection to the cause, people are really fired up and inspired and want to get involved. And we specialize in fostering these long-term partnerships between the celebrities and the nonprofits. So once they get hooked and participate in their first day of service, that feeling just really lights them up, and they want to continue to do more and give back in meaningful ways.
So the social impact that you talk about a lot on your site and in your presentations, that's what you're basically all about. How do you see your work having an impact, the social impact that it's had on organizations. Is there anyone in particular that you think is outstanding that you'd like to tell us about?
Sure. We had the pleasure of working with our friends at Global Green to help plant 150,000 trees in the Amazon rainforest to combat the 900 million trees that were lost in the devastating wildfires there, and to help fight climate change, which is one of our biggest passions. And so we had teamed up with our friends Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green, and they were incredible celebrity ambassadors for our hashtag Fight for the Amazon campaign. And what was really special about this particular project, aside from the impact we're making on the planet, was that we also teamed up with the Ashinka tribe in Brazil. So local indigenous farmers planted those healthy saplings, and we were able to create a sustainable income for these farmers who are really the best caretakers of the land. So not only did we have an impact on the planet, but we also had an impact on the local economy. And this was our commitment, our starting point with Global Green, to help replenish the 900 million trees that have been lost over the next decade. So that's our goal before we hit 2030. It's a big goal, but we're engaging lots of celebrities who care about the planet to help. And we hope we're going to get there with lots of other wonderful people who want to make a difference. And we know, especially now with young people, saving the planet is one of the most important causes to them. So, for us, rather than raise funds for a general fund with a nonprofit, we raise money for what we call Fund a Dream projects. So they're very specific programs or services where we can show that measurable impact. And we always produce beautiful videos where we can show all the celebrities, the media, the donors, the corporate partners, how their participation made an impact in the world. And that way, when we ask them to support us on campaign 2, 3, 4, 5, they're very eager to come back and participate again, because they know that together we all made something beautiful happen in the world.
Is that part of the sustainability? Is the repeat of the events? Is that how you're doing sustainability? So you're not building. It's not a criticism, but building endowment is always very difficult for a lot of organizations because they need money currently. So that's one of the impacts that we hope that we'll have, is that we want to provide long-term sustainability through the creation of endowment. That's why the title, actually, the name of our nonprofit is the Endow America Network Foundation. And the project that we focus on is using the term social charity, which may be not a term that you've ever heard of, but we hope that you'll hear of it and spread the word a little bit, because it's quite unique in the way that it can help solve some of these problems. Because what you said before is true. I mean, the money that you're raising is not coming from the celebrities. It's coming from their impact by being involved in the campaign. So that's a very valuable resource that you have in terms of your relationship with these folks and the fact that they know what you do. So I know you use search engines quite a bit, and you said before that when people went to look at something, you would create a donation. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit.
Sure. With our True Heart Social Impact search engine, when you search with us at trueheart.com, we donate 80% of our net profits to our 6 amazing charity partners. And so the way we make revenue is just like any other search engine. When you click on an ad, let's say you type in basketball shoes, because you love playing basketball with your friends on the weekend. And so when that pair of basketball shoes comes up and you see the ad, if you click on that, we make a small piece of revenue, and then we give 80% of our net proceeds from that revenue to our charity partners. And we also have partnerships with stores like Target, for example, or if you book a vacation or a dinner reservation with our friends at TripAdvisor, then we make a small amount of revenue from those bookings or those sales. And then again, we donate 80% of those net profits to our charity partners. So a lot of people don't realize that the global search engine industry makes hundreds of billions of dollars every year. And so our idea was, if we can redirect some of that wealth to great causes, then we have an opportunity to make a massive difference, because everybody, basically ages 8 to 80 years old is searching the web on their phone, tablet, or computer every day. But now this gives you an opportunity to search for good.
So that's an immediate response to something that you stimulate, and it immediately provides revenue to a nonprofit. That's fantastic. I love that.
That's correct.
That's
Thank
really
you.
great.
Thank
That's
you.
really
And
great
yeah,
idea.
it only takes a few seconds to, download our extension. So you don't have to make any changes if you love using Chrome, for example, as your browser, or Firefox or Mozilla. We have an extension for all of the browsers, and we have what's called a progressive web app for your phone and for your tablet. So it takes about 10 seconds to, install. And if you're on your phone, you just click our beautiful red heart and you start searching, and you get the same great results as you would on other platforms. But the difference is now you're making an impact. And we're big believers at True Heart that there are little things we can all be doing every day to make a big difference in the world. And so if everyone is focused on just doing a few good things every day, the ripple effect of goodness that's created is absolutely amazing.
Well, you're propelling people down the road to human kindness, and that's part of everything that we think is important right now. We need to stress people's human kindness, and not the reverse, not the opposite. So I know you use the term quite a bit, legacy, leaving a legacy, and how important that is. So is that another part of the way your organization is using to raise money? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. Many of the projects that we work on allow the celebrities and athletes that team up with us to leave a lasting legacy of service and love in the community. So, we're able to name these incredible programs that we fund after the celebrities and athletes, or their kids, or, named after a loved one that passed. So it's an opportunity for them to feel really proud of lives that were saved or transformed by the fact that they were involved and really helped us amplify the work that the nonprofits are doing. Because there are so many incredible unsung heroes in communities all over the world that nobody ever hears about. And so when we can take the power of the celebrities' reach and the fact that all of these media outlets around the world want to hear what they have to say, and their fans on social media are eager to know what's going on in their lives, it enables us to really amplify the mission and the message of the nonprofits. And beyond creating these legacies for the celebrities and athletes, we also hope to inspire and empower everyday people to create legacies in their communities and with their families. And, part of the wonderful work that, you said your team is doing, Les, with creating these endowments, offers people an opportunity to do that, because it's not about the fancy cars or the homes or all the tchotchkes that you collect while you're here.
It's not, for sure.
It's about the way you make people feel and the legacy that you leave behind, and what are we all going to be remembered for. And there's an opportunity to touch a lot of lives and to help people that don't have the same advantages and blessings that we're all grateful for. So if you can do that with, as your team has set up, this social charity, and be so innovative with this, code 664, and I loved reading about that. I think it's a really novel way that people can redirect some of their their funds now while they're alive, and make a commitment to do good and leave that legacy.
Yeah, I think something that a lot of people don't really understand, or they're not familiar with, maybe, but there's a lot of evidence that shows that people who are givers and people who do leave a legacy, people who are interested in helping others, they actually have better health, and their lives are more fulfilling, because I guess it's they're not stressing about their own problems, but they're looking to help other people solve their problems, and that's a part of it. So I really commend you on the work that you and Scott are doing and what you've accomplished with
Thank
this.
you.
Is quite amazing, and I hope that we can be a part of what you're doing in some way. Maybe we can have some joint arrangement where we can help you and you can help us with our causes, because we're both doing the same thing. We just want people to be able to understand that it's good for them to give, not only for the health reasons that we just talked about, but also for the psychic reasons of being able to accomplish something, volunteering, being a steward, taking interest in something. It's not like, charity is not driving through a town and throwing money out the window. It's having a purpose and a cause that you care about. And that's what philanthropy is all about. So I hope that that the public takes it to heart, and that they help us move along this course of human kindness. And you're definitely helping along the way. Thank you, Amy, very much for being with us today on Route 664, the road to human kindness.
Thank you for having me,
You're
Les.
definitely not a side street. We'd like to have you, actually, we'd like to put your organization on our our contact list with regard to searching for professional philanthropic advisors. You're a very unique professional philanthropic advisor in what you're doing. So we hope that we'll put you on there, and then people, when they want to find you, they can go to our search engine on socialcharity.org and look for an advisor, and you'll find Amy Malin and Scott Malin and the True Heart Project. And
That'd be great.
thank you very much for joining us today. Appreciate your time, Amy.
Thank
My
you,
best to
Les.
Scott. I haven't met him. I hope to. Take care. There's a social shelter with animals and curing PTSD among veterans. But Amy Malin and Scott Malin have created a very interesting organization as well with True Heart. And this program, of course, is all about helping people in the road to human kindness. And we want to make sure you're familiar with all of the things that we do. So make sure you tune into the radio show on a regular basis, which is route664.org/radio. Visit us on our website and Facebook and YouTube, and also pick up any Miami community newspaper, our hosts here, and read more about social charity and how you can become a hero. This is Route 664, the road to human kindness. I'm Les Winston, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great week.